Aaron in the Morning is reporting that 2,600 leaked anti-trans lobbyist emails show fundamentalism, not evidence, are the basis behind how the first anti-trans bills were drafted, which, as we've seen, once the bills have come forth, other bills copycat them, use a lot of the same language, if not the exact same language, to tear down the rights of trans and LGBT folks. This week, a trove of leaked emails from nearly every anti-trans group was released by Maya, a transgender digital activist and security researcher. Hours before the full trove was released, Mother Jones reported on the documents showing the way in which anti-trans legislation is drafted behind the scenes, while anti-trans experts have tried to argue that the bills target the transgender community are being written using, quote, science and evidence, unquote. The disturbing message behind the scenes is clear. The attacks on transgender rights are crafted with religious motivation and political calculations that have no ties to evidence whatsoever. Let's dive deep, she says here, into how the care of transgender youth is dictated by far-right organizations writing laws, and how things like age restrictions and medical policy are drawn up to meet political goals and accomplish religious doctrine. Some of the emails point out the cruel way in which this legislation is drafted. In one email, for instance, age ranges for gender-affirming care bans are chosen for, quote, purely political calculations, in the words of South Dakota Representative Fred Deutsch. He then emails Bernadette Broyles and others about how they intend to raise the age range over time. He says in this email, friends, establishing the age is a political calculation. If I believe it's feasible to increase the age after talking with legislatures over the next few months, I will. You'll just have to trust me on this. Later on the same bill in South Dakota, they speak about how the point of the bills are not medical benefits, explicitly saying that the benefits are besides the point. The main purpose of the bill is to ban trans people from getting care. This is an email again from Fred Deutsch, and it says, I don't believe the question is the medical benefits. The question is whether the circumstances is performed for the purpose of attempting to change or affirm the minor's perception of the minor's sex, if that perception is inconsistent with the minor's sex. And of course, they mean the sex at birth. As the group continued to strategize over anti-trans legislation, they reacted to every bit of good and bad news with divine fervor. It is clear that this group is crafting legislation, saw themselves as ordained by God to eradicate transgender people from public life. When the South Dakota bill banning gender-affirming care was to be heard on the House floor, Bernadette Broyles sent a message to everyone on the email chain: do not back down, nor should you be afraid. Know that the Lord is with you. The children of South Dakota belong to him. He is jealous over them. So she continues to go on and cite and read into a lot of these emails and pull out the facts here that, the claims that it is about protecting children, that it is about rights or any of these other things that they've used to push forth these bills. It's none of that. It's just purely religious doctrine, and the bills are put forth and they're worded in certain ways for political gain. And, I just hope that stories like this, that people bringing this to light, will help show that, again, like this last Florida bill, it's not based on true medical science or the beliefs of medical professionals. This is a religious fight. This is religious organizations that are coming forth to stop the existence of trans people.